There was another suicide bomb attack in Jerusalem today. Good evening and welcome to News Center at 5:30. I'm Jason Luzak.
And I'm Jill Crean. The mounting terrorism in the Middle East is tonight's top story. Another suicide bomb attack in Jerusalem today has injured at least 3 people and killed the bomber. According to Israeli police, the explosives went off when the police officer approached the car at a checkpoint. A militia linked to Yasser Arafat's Fatah movement is claiming responsibility. Earlier this morning, Israeli tanks and troops opened fire on a building in Ramallah with tank rounds and a vehicle-mounted anti-aircraft gun. President Bush has urged both Palestinians and Israelis to find a path to peace.
Well, tensions in Israel continue to rise after there have been 6 suicide bombings in the last 6 days. Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon declared his country at war against terrorism. Sharon has targeted Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat as the leader of a coalition of terror responsible for the continued violence in Israel. The mayor of Jerusalem, Ehud Olmert, says Palestinians are targeting innocent civilians.
It must be emphasized time and again that these are just brutal, terrorist, vicious attacks on innocent people in coffee shops, in restaurants, in the streets, in buses. This is not a war against soldiers, not a war against military, not a war against what the Palestinians call the occupation, but against innocent people in the heart of our towns.
The hunt continues for Palestinian militants as the Israeli army declared Ramallah a closed military zone. So far, the army has detained 500 men for interrogation.
Sources say a leader of al-Qaeda is in U.S. custody after several raids last week. Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld isn't confirming that Abu Zubaydah is in custody. The 30-year-old from Saudi Arabia is considered to be an expert in disguise. The U.S. officials say establishing his identity is difficult because there are only few known photos of Zubaydah. We'll continue to keep you up to date with this story as it develops.
Alleged American Taliban fighter John Walker was in federal court today. Walker's attorneys argued many legal issues as to Walker's prison conditions that is thought to have caused his incriminating statements. Walker faces 10 charges of conspiring to kill U.S. nationals. Walker was taken into custody after the Mazar-e-Sharif prison uprising last November. Jury selection for Walker's trial is expected to start in late August.
2 cars driven by Mohammed Atta, who is the suspected pilot of piloting one of the planes that crashed into the World Trade Center, are up for auction. The Ford Escort and the Chevrolet Corsica were seized by the FBI after the attacks. They were rented by Atta in Florida weeks before the September 11th attacks. A spokesman for the auction company says the cars will not be sold for a profit and will not go to anyone outside of the United States. The proceeds from the sale will go to a September 11th Victims Fund.
A special memorial for the victims of the September 11th terrorist attacks took place today at a Queens cemetery. 12 saplings were planted overlooking the New York skyline. 11 of the trees represent the 11 victims that are buried at Calvary Cemetery, and the 12th tree honors all of the victims of the attacks. Well, Rebecca Clark, it's starting to feel like spring. I think I might bring the shorts out tomorrow. I don't know.
The shorts, you might want to put those back in the drawer. We're expecting a huge blizzard up to 3 feet of snow.
Wait a second. I'm looking at my watch. It's April 1st. This has got to be some sort of April Fool's joke.
You're right. April Fool's, Jason.
You
gotcha.
Crazy weather people, always trying to fool us.
Let's take a look at our first forecast. For tonight, overnight showers expected into the very early morning hours. A low down to 43, winds coming out of the southwest at 12 miles an hour. And I'll have a detailed look at the forecast in just a bit.
Thanks a lot, Rebecca. Sudden downpours and flash floods are being blamed for the deaths of 5 people on the Spanish island of Tenerife. The island is one of the Canary Islands. The storm swept through the area, forcing hundreds from their homes, downing electrical and telephone lines. It remains unclear whether the people killed were locals or tourists on vacation.
A deadly accident occurred this morning in Wichita, Kansas. 3 people were killed when their speeding car missed a curve in the road and slammed into a home. No one inside of the home was injured in the crash. Authorities say that the house has been hit before in similar accidents.
Well, Target's slogan is expect more, pay less, but I'm sure no one expected this. A Connecticut woman drove through the front of a Target store. The car missed carts and went through an aisle in the store. No one was injured and the woman's motives remain unknown. The woman has been charged with criminal mischief, reckless driving, and reckless endangerment.
President Bush announced today that Governor's Island will be given back to New York. The 172-acre island is opposite of the Statue of Liberty and has been used until 1997 as the Coast Guard base. The New York Governor George Pataki and the New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg met in the Oval Office today for President Bush's announcement. The island will be given to New York for a nominal fee and plans to create a teacher training center on the historic island.
Prince Charles spoke today about the death of his grandmother. The prince said that the Queen Mother's death left an irreplaceable chasm in countless lives. She passively died in her sleep at Windsor Castle on Saturday. She was 101 years old. Her funeral is scheduled for April 9th. And coming up after the break, find out how police are preparing for the celebrations after the NCAA championship game.
And plus, we'll tell you about the big cook-off on the campus tonight. You can say what's on your mind. The College of Communication, Information, and Media is celebrating freedoms this week, and you don't have to be a CCIM student to participate in the activities. CCIM has placed a soapbox at the Scramble Light to celebrate our First Amendment. Anyone can get on this box and discuss anything. Today, people stood on the box to talk about anything from Ball State parking services to IU basketball. And if you don't get a chance to use the soapbox, that's okay. The soapbox runs Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m.
Well, a bowl of chili may have tasted better during last week's cold temperatures, but students devoured all they could at today's chili cook-off. The event was hosted by the Public Relations Student Society of America in celebration of CCIM Week. The Hoosier Hysteria group took prizes for best and most creative chili, while Hot Stuff snagged the award for the spiciest.
Here's a look at the events occurring on Ball State's campus tonight. If you're in a hurry, you can still catch Indiana Senator Luke Kenley's speech in room 201A in the Teachers College. Kenley has announced his candidacy for the Indiana governorship. And of course, we'll have that story for you tonight at 9:30 on NewsCenter. Also tonight, Antoine Predock, who's known as one of the leading architects in America, will present a free lecture. You can catch him at 8 p.m. in the Architecture Building Auditorium. His talk is part of the Ball State College of Architecture and Planning Guests Lecture Series.
The Muncie Smoking Task Force met today to discuss the smoking ban. They are discussing the language of the Delaware County Smoking Act. After the act is written, the task force will present it to the county commissioners. The act will give restaurants the option of eliminating smoking or making the smoking area confined. They'll have 7 years to make those changes. NewsCenter reporter Elliot McGinnis is there right now, and we'll have more on this story at 9:30.
The Muncie City Council will begin to take a look at the changing of the housing codes for the area residents. The measure would require a tenancy agreement for apartment owners and would limit any house converted into apartments to 3 unrelated people as renters. Neighborhood residents see the measure as a way to regulate trash, noise, and traffic associated with the university students. However, apartment owners view limiting renters as being unconstitutional. The council meeting will start tonight at 7:30 at City Hall.
Indiana's state crime labs have a lot of catching up to do, despite additional state funding. The 4 crime labs analyzed most of the state's criminal evidence. Indiana State Legislature allotted more than $12 million to the labs, who face a backlog of evidence that could last up to 4 years. The labs hope to be caught up in 4 years, but that is unlikely. The 4 crime labs are located in Indianapolis, Lowell, Fort Wayne, and Evansville.
Police in Bloomington are urging basketball fans to celebrate without violence as Indiana University plays for its 6th national title tonight. Fans filled the streets near the campus on Saturday night when IU beat Oklahoma. Only a handful of people were arrested or injured.
Maryland police are no different in preparing for fans' post-game activities. The University Police in Maryland have warned that officers will arrest any crowds that will not disperse when asked. Officers used pepper spray Saturday night to get control of the crowd after Maryland beat Kansas to get into the championship game. And speaking of the championship game, I know this is not your area of expertise, but what do you think? What's going to happen tonight?
IU all the way.
So you're
I don't
an
know.
IU fan.
Oh, yeah. You know, I think a lot of us are. We just kind of keep it quiet until they start winning championships, you know, like the NCAA. But enough basketball. I'll have the weather for you after we come back after the break. Looking at our weather almanac this April Fool's Day, we topped out today a high of 49. Normally we're at 55, so we're just about average for today. The low this morning was at 30, normally 36. If you'd like to see the sunset, you can do that this evening at 7:06 and see it rise through a light shower tomorrow morning at 7:04 a.m. Here's the highs around the state of Indiana for today. Warmest part of the state, Terre Haute checking in with 57. Not far behind, actually, look at this, Evansville 62, pardon me, that would be the warmest part of the state. Muncie checked in with 49, Indianapolis 51, Fort Wayne 47, South Bend 44 degrees. Currently outside 49, we're still at the high. Humidity stands at 39%, and our winds are coming out of the west at 9 miles an hour. Here's a look at the national satellite. Indiana, the northern part under much cloud cover. Clouds all behind us also. We'll zoom in and look regionally. And we're going to look at our radar now. Precipitation forming over the northern part of the state, moving our direction, and we should see some of this by the early morning hours. We're going to zoom in locally. The rain continues to move on in. It might come in a little quicker than we anticipated, but it's just rain, no snow. We had talked about snow earlier, and that was complete April Fool's joke. So just rain for the overnight hours. Here's tonight, a cold front moving in the area and also some low pressure. That's where this rain's going to pick up from. And we look at the lows for this evening into the 30s for Muncie in the area, surrounding area. And as we look for tomorrow, actually, for tonight, overcast skies, a light shower, the low down to 43 degrees, winds coming out of the southwest at 12 miles an hour. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, it should be around 50 degrees and through the clouds, and the winds coming out of the west at 10 miles an hour. And here's tomorrow, the highs around the nation. Muncie should be about 50 degrees, but all the way down here, 80s. It'll be nice to see some of those temperatures in the near future. Here's tomorrow's national map. Precipitation settles over us. For the remainder of the day, we should see a shower mostly for the whole day. So take your umbrella with you to class. Tomorrow showers continue, the high up to 57. Winds hailing out of the west to northwest at 15 miles an hour. And for your 3-day forecast, no more rain, but the temperatures will get a little chillier into the 40s and lows down into the upper 20s. So it's Indiana. We have to remember it's springtime. We're going to get some crazy weather. There's even a chance for a possible thunder shower for late tomorrow afternoon. So we want to be prepared for that.
A possible thunder shower. Possibilities is the thing that IU is dealing with right now, because I don't think they have a chance to win. Ryan Miller is here with sports. What do you think? What are your thoughts on the game tonight?
Well, you know, IU tonight's going to hope they can be raining down some basketballs into the baskets. Where they'll be able to do that? Stick around. I'll let you know right after the break. Well, the night era is Indiana Hoosiers are in the national championship as Coach Davis's kids. Who'd have thought they'd make it this far in only his second year? Well, simple answer, the Hoosiers did.
team is more, unified and more of a family than any team I've been on since I've been here.
I think Coach Davis is a very open coach. He'll tell you what he's thinking, and you can go to him and ask him questions and find out what's going on, and, that really makes it more comfortable as a player.
Just to see the smile on everybody's face, again, and we know it's been a while.
Davis has brought change in result and in feeling, in performance, and in philosophy.
I'm similar to any other coach. I want to win, but I try not to embarrass the guys.
He's fun to play for. You can come to him and ask him questions when you have anything that, you think we can do better, and give him suggestions, and he listens to that.
Just a much looser atmosphere outside of practice. Inside of practice, as far as intensity goes, there's not a whole lot of difference, except that maybe Coach Davis doesn't yell quite as much.
We consider ourselves Coach Davis's players now. This is just a transition that we had to make.
People that like Coach Davis before like him a little bit more. Those that hate him probably still hate him. But for the majority of people, they can appreciate and respect a man that works as hard and does what he does. They may not necessarily like him, but they respect him.
What we're trying to do is win the national championship for Indiana. And if we win the national championship, when they put it up on the banner, it won't say Mike Davis, it won't say Coach Knight, it just say Indiana.
Well, tonight in Atlanta, the Indiana Hoosiers take on the Maryland Terrapins at 9:18. And while IU may not be the most talented team on the court tonight, they definitely have some potential going out there. Breaking it down, the Terps have junior guard Stephen Blake to match up with Tom Coverdale. Now, both are dangerous perimeter shooters, but if the Cove can push aside his ankle and play defense, then Blake is shut down. The key matchup of the night is between Indiana's Dane Fife and Maryland's Juan Dixon. The most dangerous scorer in the league is Dixon with his 33 points in Saturday's win against Kansas versus the defensive powerhouse, Mr. Dane Fife. If Fife plays a defensive game like the one Saturday where he shut down Oklahoma's Hollis Prince, Dixon better find another way to contribute. It's the Terp center, Lonnie Baxter, that might not give IU a breather, though. Baxter is a towering monster with an unbelievable vertical. The only way the Hoosiers can match up is with Jared Odell. Odell has to get him into foul trouble, which he has managed to do in the past, so IU comes out fired up. Coverdale knocks down 7 to 8 threes for a team total of at least 21. Fife plays an outstanding defensive game, and Jared Odell stands his ground and forces Baxter to foul. Well, then by the end of the night, the Big Ten will once again own a national championship. And in the women's tournament down in San Antonio, it was the Lady Huskies of UConn that decided to go undefeated this season and win their third national title against the Oklahoma Sooners, 82-70. It was an enormous amount of turnovers, constant fouls, and, well, just some all-around poor outside shooting that helped nudge the Huskies to their second unbeaten season in history. Trailing by 16 early in the second half, Oklahoma managed to get within just 6 of UConn, but just couldn't get any closer. Diana Taurasi converted a key three-point play, and Player of the Year, Sue Bird, knocked down 6 consecutive free throws to deny the Sooners a comeback. Congratulations goes to the UConn ladies. And right back here in Ball State land, the Muncie Ball State men's volleyball team won its third straight match this weekend as they defeated the number 11 powerhouse of Ohio State. This is the second time this season the Cards have knocked off the Buckeyes, dropping them to 14-9 overall, and pushing the Cards to 30-15, 30-23, and a 30-27 victory. Now leading the charge was Ball State's Kyle Wendell and Matt Denmark, who combined for a total of 13 blocks on the night. The Cards only have 4 more regular season games remaining, and next up they face number 12, Loyola. Well, it's April 1st, and like every April 1st means today marks the opening of Major League Baseball. And once again, we find ourselves looking for excuses on why the Yankees won't make it to the World Series, and, well, who exactly can stop them? Well, this year it seems to be Seattle and Edgar Martinez that have the best chance of sliding their way past the Yanks. But the D-backs have made a few changes in their lineup to accommodate another World Series run. So this should definitely be an exciting season with everyone once again chasing the Yankees. And on a quick note, Darryl Strawberry will have to remain in jail until April 18th for violating his probation and breaking house arrest.
You know, I did see the UConn game. It was a really good game. If you missed it.
Well, you know what? All this talk about the IU game, what about Major League Baseball? I love it. It means summer is coming. We can break up the shorts. Well, coming up after the break, a tradition since 1878, Easter at the White House. Stay tuned to see who was there for the celebration.
And find out which holiday is becoming more and more popular when it comes to giving gifts. Stay tuned. And Rebecca Clark joins us now for a quick look at our weather.
A quick look at the weather. Let's see for tonight. We should see the lows down to 43. Light shower, overcast skies. Winds out of the southwest at 12 miles an hour. When you wake up tomorrow morning, 50 degrees for the temperature, cloudy skies, and winds out of the west. Tomorrow all day, showers continue. Take your umbrella to class. The high up to 57. And for the 3-day forecast, looks like temperatures will be a bit cooler into the 40s.
Thanks, Rebecca. New tonight at 9:30, IU fans brace for a big game. Also, NewsCenter reporter Elliot McInnes will have the latest on the Muncie smoking debate. And Indiana Senator Luke Kenley was in Ball State today. Watch these stories and more tonight at NewsCenter at 9:30.
Easter is a holiday full of tradition. The White House is no different. President George W. Bush continued the tradition of the annual Easter egg roll on the South Lawn. Aside from meeting the president, the kids on the South Lawn also shook hands with Barney, Elmo, and Jimmy Neutron, boy genius. The egg roll was started in 1878 and was founded by President Rutherford B. Hayes.
Santa better watch out. The Easter Bunny is giving him a run for his money. The Ball State University retail analyst says that Easter is becoming the second largest gift-giving holiday. Retailers are working for revenue during the long stretch from Valentine's Day to Memorial Day. Candy sales are expected to bring in almost $2 billion in sales. DVDs and CDs and video games are also becoming big gifts for Easter. Well, Thank you for joining us here at NewsCenter at 5:30. I'm Jill Crean.
And I'm Jason Luzak. NewsCenter 43 is an official CNN Student News Bureau. Be sure to tune in tonight for NewsCenter at 9:30. Good night.